Welcome back. Hi everyone. This is our video for MRWC, Piecewise Functions. How exciting. Are we all happy and excited for this? Because I am. Here we go. So, number 2 here says f of x equals minus 2x plus 1 if x is not 1, and it's negative 2 if x is 1. Well, the easier part is probably this one. So let's start with the second part, because that's actually just 1 point. And the reason why it's just 1 point is because of the domain. The domain is given here on the right, and basically this is only valid for 1 point, x equals 1. Where is x equals 1? Here. How high is it? It's negative 2. Let's put a little dot there. Let's make it actually a little bit easier to see. So 1, negative 2, right there. There's that dot. And otherwise, it's a line with a slope. This right here is the slope. Yes, negative 2 is the slope. That's your m. And 1 is your y-intercept. That's your b. So it has a y-intercept of 1 and a slope of negative 2. Let's go ahead and graph that using our little line tool. Use a different color. So that looks approximately something. What was? Oh yeah, one is the one I said. That looks approximately something like that. Except that's not totally accurate because we have a hole. All right, and that hole is right here. Okay, in fact, what we would normally do is we would accentuate the hole with a nice little circle so that people understand. In fact, let me zoom in a little bit. I think it's a little zoomed out. Okay, so we accentuate that hole with a circle because, of course, the hole is infinitely small. We would never see it if you zoomed in. But that's where it is, and that's what that line would be. And there's your piecewise function. Next problem. Number 3. Please try to sketch this out on your own. Pause the video, and we'll be right back for the explanation. And we're back. So, what? That's plenty of time to pause. I should give the explanation like pause the video and here's the answer. Like, sorry if you snooze. Okay, anyway, so here's number 3. So if the domain is less than negative 2, so in other words, anything to the left of this, the answer is simply negative 4. So remember, that's the y value. So this just makes a straight line all the way to negative 2. And it does not include negative 2. So actually, I should have made that a circle. Yeah, I could still make it a circle. Okay, that's not great, but it's good enough. So if x is less than negative 2, if it's to the left of negative 2, the y value is negative 4. If, however, x is negative 2 or greater, it's a parabola. And what kind of a parabola is it? It's kind of funky. Well, we have, the way this is written, we could actually rewrite it. We could rewrite it as negative x squared plus 4. Maybe that helps you because that's more the standard format that we're used to. And it's a little easier to see that this is just an upside down parabola with a y-intercept of 4. So if I didn't care about the domain and I was just to graph this, it would just look like a parabola, kind of like that. And here we'll go down 1, 3, and then here we have a solid point. Okay, we're going to fill this one in to say, look, it goes to negative 2. And that point is included there in the blue. And that is our graph. There we go. Ready for number 4? Yep. Fantastic. Let's go. Number 4, please try to work it out. Pause the video. Thank you very much. Here we go. F of x is x squared when x is not 0. Otherwise, it's negative 6. So negative 6 is just this point right here when it's 0. So 0, negative 6. Other than that, it's a parabola. So I'm going to put a circle here. Let me actually make it even bigger. And so it just kind of looks like this. And there you go. That's number 4. Yes?
How would you know, like, the difference when to do a circle and like,
So if the point is not included, like it is here, when it says x is not 0, I know that that's not in the domain, and therefore it gets a circle. So for this one here, same thing, right? X is 1 was not in the domain. That's where I got that circle right here, this circle right here. Okay, because that 1 was not in the domain. Down here, even though the domain is restricted, there's not a hole, okay? A hole like this would be if a single point is excluded. If a single point is excluded, then yes, I need that hole, right? But otherwise, it's not. And so the reason why also this red one down here had this thing, that's because of this right here with the less than, because it's not or equal to, and therefore it got an open circle. But other than that, that's all it is. So they're all kind of like that. Thank you. Good question. Thank you. Keep them coming. This looks hard. Should I skip it? No, because we don't shy away from anything. Even if it takes us all class period and we learn nothing. A little too close to home, maybe. So let's move on. Let's do this one. Pause the video and try to work it out. You can do it. You can do it. Just believe in yourself. Try it out. You'll learn something. Thank you. Here we go. X plus 1 cubed is, of course, just a... So if it wasn't the plus 1, if it was just a cube, it would look like this, more or less. But it's not plus 0, it's plus 1. Which direction does it go? Does it go up, down, left, or right?
down.
You say down. Anyone else want to chime in? X plus 1 cubed. We learned this in IM3. How to shift a function. Remember a times x minus h squared plus k? Apparently not. If it's inside the parentheses, it's left, right. And plus means left, and minus means right. This is, in fact, shifted 1 unit left. Did you know that? Did you predict that accurately? If not, you should write that down. And you should try to remember that. Okay, so if you forget the rule, here it is again. Y equals a times x minus h, and then squared or cubed or some other integer value plus k. So here, this value right here, this shifts it left. And this one right over here, for the next one, that shifts it right. Do you see? Inside the parentheses, it goes left or right. Plus is left, and minus is right. However, on the outside, for example, what we did with this blue one here, here it was, you see this right here? Here was plus 4. This one right here shifts it up 4. 4 units on the, if it's on the outside of the x with the exponent, if it's on the, it doesn't need an exponent, but if it's on the outside, then it moves it up and or down, and positive means up and negative means down. So for us here, it's inside the parentheses, so that moves it left or right. And in this particular case, on number 5, in this particular case, it moves it left because it is positive. Left. And that's how we knew that that one was there. Now, we have a problem. The domain is restricted. Is that what you're going to ask about?
Yeah.
Yes. I was just getting to that. So here the domain is restricted. So it only goes until 0. The point is included. So I'll make a nice little dot. You know, maybe it would help if the dot was a different color. What do you think? No, because then it doesn't seem like the same function. Well, at least let me just make the dot neater. Maybe that'll help. I'll make it a little bit bigger. There we go. I think that makes my point. Literally. And then the other one is an absolute value. Now, absolute value or parentheses, they both have the same behavior when it comes to numbers inside the parentheses, quote unquote. In this case, the absolute value sign. Inside moves left and right. So this right here, I don't know why I used red. I should have used blue. I mean, I mixed up the colors. But this right here moves it left or right. What do you think? Right. This moves it right 3 units. Now, normally, the absolute value function, if you remember your parent functions, do you remember your parent functions? Normally, the absolute value function looks a little something like this without the squiggles, straight lines. But this is 3 units right. So we're going to take this and go 1, 2, 3 units right. But again, the domain is restricted. Yeah. I should have done. You know, let me make it look nicer. I'll do this. So it goes here like this. And there like that. And I'm going to make this look real nice. There we go. And this is an open circle because the point is not included there. And that's it for that one. Do we have any harder ones? Oh, let's go the other way around. Yeah. So we've done a lot of ones where we have to do the graph. But what if we're given the graph and we have to write the piecewise function? That's a fun one. Well, let's do that. So this over here on the left looks like a parabola that's shifted 5 units to the left. So this is x plus 5, check this out, squared under which domain? All the way to -4. Do you see how -4 is the linchpin? That means if x less than -4. And the other one is just a straight line. How do we write that? Do you know how to write that? This is just 2. Right, because remember, what is y equals 2? Y equals 2 is just a flat line that goes through 2, right? That's y equals, this magenta line here, that's y equals 2. But the domain is restricted. It's only if x is greater than -4. And that's the answer. That's what you write. Next problem. Try to work out number 8 right now. Pause this video and make your best attempt. We will return shortly for the answer. And we're back. So, let's just go in order from left to right. I don't see why not. So it appears to me, you can tell me what you think, but it appears to me that this one down here, let me just, colors help because they can help me coordinate. This blue ray is just y equals x. Okay, so this is just x. And because remember, what is y equals x? Y equals x is just the diagonal line through the origin with a slope of 1 and a y-intercept of 0. But it's cut off. It's cut off to the left of -2. So we say when x is less than -2. What about that flat line in the middle? Let's make this one green. So the green one is simply 0. Because what is y equals 0? Y equals 0 is just this x-axis, right? It's just a flat line. It's just a flat line through the origin. So that's the x-axis. But the domain is restricted. It's not the whole thing. It's only between -2 and 2. So we put a restriction on the domain, and we have to use the intervals. So x is between -2 and 2. Just remember that the -2 here is included, so we need that line underneath the less than symbol. And that gives us that one. For the next one, what the heck is that function? Well, to me, that looks like the square root function. There's only one slight difference, is that normally the square root function would look a little more like, whoops, it would look like this. And I'm not great at drawing. But this seems to have been flattened out, and we can tell the difference by how much. Because normally it would go 1 up, 1 over. But this one here goes 3 right and 1 up. Right? So this has like a slope of 1/3, whereas the normal one has a slope of 1 over 1 for this right here, right? And so that difference in slope tells me that this is actually, and this is advanced. I'm not going to do this to you on the quiz, but this would be, it would not just be the square root of x, it would be the square root of x divided by 3. And I'm very sorry about that. Very, very sorry about that. I'm not going to be that mean to you. Yeah, so x is greater than 2. Yeah, that was a mean one. I didn't realize they got that mean on this. But hey, you learned something. You learned how to do those. Welcome. Good to have you. You want to learn some math? Yeah. Excellent. Here's some more good ones. This video is getting a little bit long, and we do have to move on. So let's try to cut it short. Is there any particular one you must have me do? Do you want 9 or 12 or what? 12? All right, let's do 12. That'll be the last one, okay? So 12, I like the color thing. Let's keep doing that. I don't have time for the rest, okay? Okay, so this blue one is clearly a parabola. So it's a parabola that's shifted 2 units to the left. So this is x plus 2 squared. And where is it? Well, it's to the left of -2. Not including that point. The middle one is a line with a slope of 1 that, I'm sorry, I don't have a steady hand. This one's a line, so it's just x, but it has a y-intercept of 2. So this is x plus 2. And only, this has a slope of 1, right? Slope of 1, y-intercept of 2, so it's x plus 2. But only to the right of -2, but also to the left of 4. So it's between -2 and 4. And we have our x in between. And then we just put those. None of the points are included, so we just leave it at that. And then finally the last one. This one is also a square root function. And it got shifted 4 units to the right, so it's x minus 4. This is still under the square root because if I put it outside the square root, it would move it down 4. But if it's inside the square root, then it moves it right 4. And that's anywhere to the right of 4. So x greater than or equal to 4. And that is all. I hope you learned a little something about piecewise functions here. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you next time. Thank you.